Hi there, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be taking you through indeterminate limit forms. In our previous lessons, we've delved with determinate limit forms and we solved a lot of examples. If this is the first time you've been on this channel, kindly subscribe, then please watch this video to the end. So let's take our first problem. So the first one is saying that we should find the limits as s approaches 1 of the expression square root of negative x plus 5 minus 2 all over s squared plus 4x minus 5. So our first one, limit as x approaches 1 of the expression square root of negative x plus 5 minus 2 all over x squared plus 4x minus 5. How do you solve this problem? So in our previous lessons, I made it known that for every continuous function, the limit is equal to its functional value. So the first thing to do whenever you are given any limit question is to find the functional value. So here you put 1 wherever you see x, okay? I'm going to have square root of negative 1 plus 5 minus 2 all over 1 squared plus 4 multiplying 1 minus 5. This gives me square root of 4, which is 2 minus 2. So I have 0 over 1 plus 4 is 5 minus 5 is also 0. This is giving me indeterminate limit forms because 0 over 0 should have cancelled to give me 1 because any number over itself is 1, right? Any number over 0 is infinity. I mean, this whole thing is giving us different possibilities. So that's why we say it's indeterminate limit form. So how do we eliminate that? To do that, whenever you see any third form, try to rationalize application of conjugation of sets, right? So this is what you do. You simply take the conjugate of what? The numerator where the set is. So that will be what? Negative x plus 5 minus 2 all over x squared plus 4x minus 5 times square root of negative x plus 5. Now for the conjugate, the sign here becomes positive. Okay, so plus 2 all over square root of negative x plus 5 plus 2. We realize that apparently we are not doing anything. We are simply multiplying this expression by 1, but there will be an effect, right? So let me multiply the top. We realize that this is a difference of 2 squared. So this is going to give me my numerator square root of negative x plus 5 all squared minus 2 all squared, difference of 2 squared for the numerator. But for the denominator, I'm going to have x squared plus 4x minus 5 multiplying the expression square root of negative x plus 5 plus 2, right? I keep on simplifying. So my numerator will give me what? Negative x plus 5 because this squared will cancel this. So I have negative x plus 5 minus 4 all over the expression x squared plus 4x minus 5 multiplying square root of negative x plus 5 plus 2. Okay. So this expression further simplifies to, you have negative x, you have 5 minus 1. So I'm getting 1 minus x all over. So at this point, let me decompose my x squared plus 4x minus 5. When I decompose, what am I getting? You realize that, okay, the factors of negative 5 when you add, you're going to get 4, which is using quadratic here. That will give me positive 5, negative 1. So you simply have x plus 5 x minus 1 as your decomposed form. That is how we factorize it simply. Multiplying square root of negative x plus 5, then plus 2. Okay. So at this point, I have 1 minus x, I have x minus 1. I want to cancel them out, but they have to look the same. So meaning I have to turn the numerator into what? Into x, and the coefficient of x here is negative. So meaning I have to multiply up and down by negative. Okay. So this is going to give me negative. When I factorize negative here, I'm going to get x minus 1 all over the denominator becomes x plus 5 x minus 1 then root of multiplying root of negative x plus 5 plus 2. So here I can cancel this and this out and I'll be left with negative 1 over the expression x plus 5 multiplying square root of negative x plus 5 plus 2. At this point, I can put my 1 inside, and when I put my 1, I'm getting negative 1 over the expression 1 plus 5 multiplying negative square root of negative 1 plus 5 plus 2, right? So you realize that I'll get negative 1 over the expression. 1 plus 5 is 6, right? 6 times. Then within the square root, I have negative 1 plus 5, which is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. Then 2 plus 2 is 4, right? So I'll simply get negative 1 over 24 as my limit. That's all. Let's see our second problem. So for our second problem, I simply have limits as x approaches positive infinity of the expression negative 3x to the power 4 plus 3x plus 1. So when you have this, we are now in the infinity realm. So if your limit is infinity, you follow the indefinite infinity forms. I've done that in our previous lessons, so do well to visit those videos. So at this point, the only thing to do here, okay, is to factorize x, which has the highest power. So we are going to have negative x to the power 4 multiplying negative 3 plus 3x to the power negative 3, because when you factorize negative 4 out, you are going to have negative 3, okay, then plus 1x to the power negative 4, like this. This can be further simplified as this. If you want to clearly say it, negative 3 plus 3 over s cubed plus 1 over x to the power 4. This shows you have factorized. Now limits as x approaches positive infinity. So what to do is you put positive infinity wherever you see x. You know that any number over infinity is 0. Okay, any finite number over infinity is 0. So 3 over this, 1 over this will turn 0. So therefore, I'll left with negative 3 multiplying negative. Sorry, I factorized the negative out. Sorry. So let me clean this. It wasn't negative here. Okay. So I just took this out. So here I'm going to get negative 3 multiplying x to the power 4 limits as x approaches positive infinity, and this is going to give me negative 3 positive infinity all to the power 4. So this will give me what? Negative 3 multiplying what? Positive infinity. Infinity to the power 4 remains infinity, and the negative here makes everything gives us negative infinity. Let's see our third problem. For our third problem, we have a quotient. So limits as s approaches negative infinity of negative 2x plus 1 all over 3x squared minus 2, right? So with this, if you want to find the limits, what do? You divide by the largest power of x. So when you have a quotient and you are using an infinite limit, divide by the highest power of x. But if it becomes a polynomial, as in this case, you will factorize it out. So here, what's the highest power of x? That is x squared. So I'm simply going to have negative 2x over x squared plus 1 over x squared all over 3x squared over x squared minus 2 over x squared. So I'll be left with this cancels 1, like 2 on x plus 1 on x squared all over 3 minus 2 on x squared. So when I put my negative infinity, any finite number over infinity is what? 0, right? So my numerator becomes what? 2 on x, 1 over x squared. So 2 on x, 1 over x squared here. What am I getting? So you realize that this gives me 0, then obviously this will give me 0, right? So I'll totally have this negative 2 multiplying x, negative 2 multiplying x. So doing this, the numerator will give me 0 plus 0 all over 3 minus 0, and obviously giving me 0. So this is how we go by indeterminate limit forms. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.